Hi, for those of you who don't know me already, my name is Justin Beeton, the author of the book Making Super Sexy. Now, I wrote this book to educate all Australians about the key strategies available to accelerate returns inside of superannuation, also to reduce some of those risks. So if you haven't done so already, by all means, download a copy of the book by clicking the link below. Now, in today's session, what I want to cover is one of the key changes to superannuation that's actually occurred over the last few years. In 2010, the government changed the rules which enabled us to borrow inside of superannuation. Now, I believe when you look at all of the changes inside of superannuation that has occurred over the last few decades, this is one of the key changes that enables or empowers superannuation to be even more sexy. So firstly, I want to cover some of the key benefits and the negative of using borrowed funds inside of your superannuation, or by using leverage inside of super. First and foremost, by having more and more money invested, when the asset price increases in value, by having borrowed money invested, your returns are going to be accelerated. It's going to magnify the returns inside of superannuation by using borrowed funds in addition to your own superannuation money. However, there is a key risk in that while returns can be magnified, if the asset price falls in value, the losses can be magnified also. So it's very critical that you seek independent investment advice to determine whether or not borrowing inside of superannuation is suitable for you as an individual. Now, there's two key asset classes that you can borrow money to invest inside of superannuation. The first asset class is shares. The second one is property. Now, if we go back to shares, there's many ways you can borrow money to purchase shares. One of the key characteristics and key differences between borrowing money for shares inside of super as opposed to outside of super is that the loan needs to be provided on what's called a limited recourse basis. What limited recourse basis means is that if the asset price falls, so if the share price falls in value to below the amount you've borrowed, the bank has no recourse on you as an individual trustee of that super fund or any of the other superannuation assets to recover any of the loan amount, which is a good thing for borrowing money inside of superannuation. The second way that you can borrow money, or the second asset class that you can borrow money for, is property. Not just direct residential property, but also commercial property. Now, the LVR, the amount you can borrow for property, is anywhere up to 80%. What that means is that if you're looking at a $400,000 property, investment property, you don't need the entire $400,000 inside of your super fund to go out and purchase that property. If you're borrowing at 80%, the bank will lend you $320,000 to fund that purchase. So you need to come up with the additional $80,000, the difference between the $400,000 and the $320,000. So by using borrowed funds inside of superannuation, one, you can accelerate the returns by having a lot more money invested. The more money you have invested, the greater the potential return when the asset price goes up. But when it falls, also the increased risks associated. It also gives you the capacity as a young Australian to have greater investment choice. Direct property may have been out of reach prior to these new rules, but now with leverage and with borrowing arrangements inside of superannuation, I can in fact take advantage of an investment opportunity in residential property. So that's superannuation, that's borrowing inside of superannuation. So again, it's critical that you seek independent investment advice. If you want to learn more about borrowing arrangements inside of super, again, the best place to start is downloading a copy of my book. So again, thanks very much for your time. My name's Justin Beeton. Enjoy the read when you take advantage of my book. Come back for the next series. We'll be covering other key contribution strategies and key investments available for superannuation. Thank you.